up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again for another bag talk. What we're going to be going over today is the SpaceX IPO. We're going to break this down into two parts. Initially, I'm going to give the details of the IPO. It's coming up Friday. Happy Thursday tomorrow. I'm going to give a little quick rundown for those of you who are late to the game. This is your quick fill-in. Consider it a speed read. And then I'm going to give what I'm going to be doing and what I have been doing. And obviously, we'll have a little bit of receipts. The market is looking ugly right now, so I hope everybody is doing okay and not making any rash decisions, because I know that if you're stuck just looking at the market all day, it is real easy to get really emotional, and we don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to like the video. If you're not subscribed and you've been here more than twice, go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you're on mobile, hype the video. Every little bit helps. And then also share the video, all the stuff. So we're going to jump right on into it. First and foremost, obviously, SpaceX is one of my narratives, because me personally, I believe that with the whole data center, bad PR, bad for the environment, these things are going to end up in space. Like, I just think that they're going to end up in space. There's going to be a lot of infrastructure needed for that. And, you know, that's a place that really we haven't been. We're not acclimated to, and it's a place where you can put the data centers where basically none of the complaints are valid any longer. So, well, that's my take on it. I also don't think that we're getting any less into space, so it's going to be around. Space is always going to be there. Let's first talk about the price. Now, SpaceX has done something pretty unique here, as they have pinned down to a specific price versus a price range. For those who are not in the know, most IPOs come out with a price range, meaning it could be on the low side this number, on the high side this amount, and it's going to be somewhere within that window, and we don't know exactly where it is. SpaceX, which will be on the NASDAQ under ticker SPCX, so be keeping an eye out for SPCX, is going to launch with a price per share of $135. Now, the company is valued at $1.77 trillion, and they are looking to give an unprecedented amount to retail. So retail access, they're looking at about 30% of all the shares. It's a pretty good chunk. They're giving you guys a good opportunity to jump in. Those are the details. This is going to be a short video. One other thing I do want to add on there is, apparently the stock sale begins Thursday. It goes live for trading on Friday. So that's today. Sales began today. Trading begins tomorrow, which is where you'll see it, where all of us normies and retail will have access to it. But those of you who got in on the IPO, you'll be able to get in there. Now, moving on to how I'm going to be playing it. Let's share a screen here. Our long-term holdings. I got a couple of things that we are looking at doing. So we'll share the screen. Okay, so what we've got going on here is, for space, for me, I've got 3 positions that are tied to this right now. The first position being DXYZ. Now, I did a video on this because this was my proxy to get access pre-IPO, because DXYZ, this closed-end fund, owns a lot of SpaceX. It's a good chunk of the fund. They've been in before it went to IPO. The next thing that we did was we took profits, we parked them over in SATA, so that way we can get some residual build up over there. And, that's down about 2% right now. I'm okay with it because we've still got distributions coming in. And the play on this is actually a little bit longer term with the strategy that I'm running, but my cash position waiting for SpaceX is SATA. So I've got DXYZ and SATA together. Those are the positions that we're looking at in regards to the money that I've allocated already to go towards SpaceX. So bear that in mind. Now, the next thing that we're doing is we've started dollar cost averaging into Mars, which is a collective fund for space and technology, which means that it's going to be scooping up some SpaceX. That will also gain SpaceX exposure. Now, what am I going to be doing on Friday? I will tell you straight from the horse's mouth, nothing. And I'm going to explain why. On Friday, and I've done this a couple of times, I've gotten my hand burned. I'm not the type of person who touches the stove once and burns their hand. I got to touch it twice. And every time, it's never been a good play. I've never entered an IPO, and entering at IPO launch day was the play. Like, it's just a bad entry. And for me, I don't make it. There's no excuse for bad entries. Even if it's something you're long-term on, you're still just setting yourself back. You're better off just waiting a little bit longer, showing some patience, letting the dust settle. And here's the thing. With SpaceX, you have a lot of people who have been invested in this for a long time. They have money locked up for a long time. People are now millions, some billionaires off of this. And they're going to want to probably release some of that capital. They're going to want to probably, have some of that wealth. They're not like Bitcoiners where we're like, hey, we're going to hold on to it forever. And, maybe we'll leverage it. Maybe we'll do some other stuff. But there's going to be people selling the SpaceX stock into an on inflow of people buying the SpaceX stock. I don't like being exit liquidity. So for me, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be waiting because they have a 5-week window before they can start selling. It's going to be about 5 weeks that they're locked into it. You can Google to get the exact date. I'm going with me personally. I'm going to be looking at the market in 5 weeks. I'm going to be watching SpaceX in 5 weeks. I'm not looking at it. I'm not buying it. I'm not worried about it until then. I will continue to dollar cost average my Mars position. Outside of that, not really worried. Because once those sells start hitting, because the thing is, it's just going to be buyers at the onset. Then 5 weeks later, you're going to have the people who've been in SpaceX that have the majority of the shares start liquidating some of those positions to buy things that they want, to, maybe roll that to a different position, to throw some money around. And I'm going to wait for the dust to settle on that. So I'm probably not looking at SpaceX until probably towards the end of the year for buying direct. I'll keep my SATA position. I'm going to set it to drip so that way it can just compound itself, build up a little bit more cash value. I'll continue dollar cost averaging Mars. And that's the play that I'm making. Now, what are the risks of the play that I'm making? Well, what if it just launches and just goes up and just goes to the moon and keeps going up? And that is also a possibility. Me personally, I don't know if I'm the bad luck charm here, but me personally, every time I've bought at IPO, the price is nuked. Which is fine because it's normally if I'm doing something like that, it's a dollar cost average. I'm in the position for a long-term outlook. But I don't see the point in not just waiting to see what it does, because if it goes up, I'm still going to buy. I have cash. I have things that are going to be tied to it that if it goes to the moon, that are going to get pulled up with it, that are going to go up in value. I have my Mars position. I have my it's a tongue twister, so let me go look at it. I have my DXYZ position. Both of those will then metrically rise. And I mean, DXYZ in general has been a trooper for me Anyway, just in regards to the performance that we've gotten off of it thus far, like we took profits at 130%. Can't complain on that. I don't see a loss in here. I mean, I guess bad entry is bad entry if you're a bad entry on the other side because it ran up and you didn't take the opportunity to buy it at 135. That is true. But the balancer is I can always liquidate all of my space positions to get SpaceX, which was the position that I wanted anyway, which means some of it will be at minimum drug up with it because it has exposure to it. So that's the play that I'm making because I've burnt my hand twice on IPOs in the other direction where I bought day one and then prices went down and it wasn't great. So for me, I'm gonna try the opposite with SpaceX. We'll see if this is the rare occurrence where maybe I'm not gonna get it right, period. And since I'm dollar cost averaging, I should just buy it at the beginning. But I'm gonna test. You gotta test, you gotta back test, you gotta, go through the experience. I've done 2 times buying off IPO launch. Neither one of them worked out well for me from a perspective of like, hey, you got a really good deal and a really good entry point. So I'm going to give it the 5 weeks and wait until the people who are locked in start selling off their shares to see what that side of the market looks like before I get in and start my dollar cost average on SpaceX. That's what I've got for you guys today. That's where we're going to leave it off. This is a little shorter video. I'm going to try some experiments with this style of format with like a quick hit for some of the bag talks if I have something specific. I'm sliding these in with my regularly scheduled episodes because we've had a little bit of time to get ahead on some things. But yeah, so you might see some of these as reels because I'm pretty sure I've seen some about 15-minute reels that I've watched and upload them in some different fashions to see if we can connect with some different audiences. But for those of you who've been rocking with me, I definitely appreciate it. Those of you who like the video, those of you who leave comments, I love talking about money. And, getting into the weeds with you down in the comments and giving my perspective on things. And yeah, so guess we're going to close it on that. This has been another episode of Bag Talk on future financial strategies. And this is your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm signing off. I'll talk at you next week.
Money on my mind. Yeah. Focus, got no time for games. Nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.